Hello, I'm Dr. Robert Lelouch, a board-certified OBGYN physician with over 30 years of clinical experience. You may have seen my video on the differences for your second pregnancy. Well, this is what are the differences in postpartum that we see in women who've had their second child. And this circumstance that I'm going to outline for you today, I encountered quite a bit with women who are coming in for their 1-year follow-up, and they've got a 1, 2, 3-year-old at home and a new baby on board, and they're coming for their postpartum visit. So a new infant and a small child around in the terrible twos. That can be quite difficult and a wonderful experience, but also an exhausting, very difficult experience, very challenging. It's not just like having 2 kids, it's like having 5 kids because they don't work in sync. So when you have one child cooperating, the other isn't, and they don't synchronize their illnesses, their problems, and that can really add to additional stress. And we want to be cautious about postpartum depression. This is not a detailed analysis or description for postpartum depression, but should help you with general coping and put you alert to some of the things to look out for, okay? So, it is very normal when you bring home your new child for your existing child to regress a little, to be a little bit grumpy. I mean, after all, your first child, the world revolved around them, and now this new baby is an invader, and they're often not too happy about it. So, if they were potty trained, then sometimes they stop being potty trained. Or they find that you're having to spend a lot of time with this new baby, especially if you're breastfeeding, and they get jealous and they want your attention. And it turns out that the way they get your attention is to cause trouble, to be terrible twos. Perhaps they'll take their food and throw it on the floor or throw it on the rug or start crying or start throwing tantrums. They'll really start acting up more. And that can be particularly stressful and hard to handle. So one of the things we encourage you to do is to watch for this, and you'll notice it, and it's normal behavior, but there are ways that you can cope with it. I encourage you to talk to your pediatrician, talk to your parents, get support, get help. They'll be able to give you some insights. But if you're aware that this is happening, what I encourage you to do is when your little one, your older child starts behaving, sitting down, playing with themselves, what you want to do is give them a little bit of your attention so that you're not just giving it to them when they're acting up, but you give it to them when they are doing exactly what you want. Just a minute or two when you put your other baby down, or do some teamwork with your partner, the father of the baby, so that you can see, so that they can see that you are ready and willing to devote a little bit of time and attention to them when they're acting well. And then when they're doing something that you're not really liking, that's terrible two type behavior or obvious call for attention, you need to check and make sure they're okay, they haven't fallen down the stairs or anything like that. But if they are okay, do your best to minimize the amount of tension you give for that. That might mean being a little tolerant of a little misbehavior, so that they learn that that doesn't necessarily get your attention. It's a delicate balance, but if you're aware of that, you can help start reinforcing the behavior that you want and not reinforcing the behavior that you don't want them to do. Hopefully that will be helpful. We also find that lots of women feel, especially those who are working and taking care of kids, feel guilty taking some time for themselves. So if they're working or doing whatever job, they feel obligated to spend every moment of their time either with their job or taking care of their kids, or if all they're doing is taking care of the kids, spending all their time taking care of the kids. And that can be exhausting, and that can be depressing and difficult. Everybody needs a little bit of alone time, a little bit of unwind time. You do, your spouse does as well. So I encourage you to set up some coordinated downtime. That might mean when your parents or the father of the baby's parents come and help out, or you get a babysitter. It might mean an hour a day, an hour a week, or 12 hours a week, whatever it is that gives you that feeling of balance. It certainly gets better as your kids get a little older. But if you feel guilty for spending a little alone time, just know that your children will benefit from a little bit of away time from you. If they never get a moment away from you, then they actually really don't do as well as school. So when it's time for them to go to school, if they've never had a lot of alone time or time without you, then when they go to school, all they can focus on is where's mom or where are my parents, rather than, oh, I want to learn at school and do well. So if they know that they can be okay with some time with a babysitter, with appropriate, safe supervision, but not necessarily always you, then you get some time to refresh, to recharge by doing whatever it is that was fun for you as an individual and fun for you with your spouses as a couple, like going to the movies, or I used to say going to walk the mall, but so many malls are closed, but doing some exercise, going shopping, doing whatever it is that was fun for you, a little bit of break time. It's going to make you more refreshed and happier when you get to spend some time with your child. I don't know your specific circumstances. You need to use your support systems to give you some specific advice, but hopefully this general advice will help you cope with an often very stressful time with a second or third child at home. And by the way, I'm told once you have your fourth child, it's mayhem all the time. So what's one more child in the mix? There's always somebody with some issue. And congratulations for being able to handle that. I hope you found this useful, and please leave your comments. Thank you very much.